Theo's valedictorian status held a special meaning. As a Ragnar, he had started at the lowest position. An image of a cracked, dark egg in a nest of twigs illustrated his humble beginnings. Yet, he rose up and took flight, a silhouette of a majestic dragon soaring against a bright sky, symbolizing his ascent. People talked amongst themselves. I knew that he became strong, but to think he'd kill Axion. One person whispered. Another added, I heard that he was even about to kill a proctor before he was stopped. Theo's story, rising from the bottom to the top, resonated deeply within the hearts of many apprentice swordsmen. The crowd buzzed with changed perceptions, shifting from disdain to admiration. The imbecile of Ragnar ceased to exist. A notification popped up. You have become the overall valedictorian of the awakening ceremony. Another message flashed. Congratulations. You have completed scenario quest number 3, Victor of the Awakening Ceremony. You have obtained Ether Core as a reward. The reward has been stored in your inventory. All right, I forgot I had a quest, Theo thought to himself, looking at the notification panel with a curious expression. Ether Core? What kind of item is that? Considering how long this quest took, it's probably something real nice. He glanced over at Ed Troyven, who stood amidst the crowd. The Central Intelligence Bureau. He thought, his eyes narrowing slightly. Ed Troyven smiled warmly, extending a hand towards Theo. Would like to offer you the position of Deputy Director. Theo stood in silence. His gaze was sharp, focused solely on the man before him. Theo used his skill, observing Ed Troyven. The Ed's details were displayed. Ed Troyven, 46, title, Sky Dragon, talent, wolf in sheep's clothing. Status, aims to take Theo Ragnar under his wing and use him as a pawn to uncover the secrets of the relics of the primordial dragon. That's what I thought. So, he's aiming for the relics, Theo mused. In that case, he probably knows that I already have one. He steeled himself. Unfortunately for you, nothing will ever go your way again. You Troyvens will be crushed by my hands. He vowed, his hand clenching into a fist. What is the meaning of this, Central Director? Julius Ragnar demanded. Ed responded calmly. I'm merely offering a position to a talented individual according to the procedure of the nomination ceremony. Is something wrong? He questioned. Don't insult our intelligence, Julius retorted, his face contorted in anger. Everyone can see that this is a thinly veiled plot to avenge your nephew. Ed chuckled softly. I can see why you'd think that, but you're mistaken, he said, a sly smile playing on his lips. Though I may hold anger as an individual, as the Central Director, I only wish to recruit the best talent. This snake, he thought, his eyes narrowed. Does he only care about fulfilling his objective even after the death of his nephew? Stop, Vanna Ragnar interjected, stepping forward. I understand your desire for talented personnel, but we have yet to formally begin the proceedings. Hold your horses. He turned to Theo. Now, Theo Ragnar, have you made up your mind? Or are you not yet ready? Theo met his gaze. Truth be told, I have not been able to decide yet. Vanna's expression softened slightly. That's why I'd like to hear what offers there are. Theo admitted, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. He turned, his gaze sweeping across the grand hall. A woman's hand reached up, her fingers adorned with a ring. OSA Ragnar Plunus stepped forward. I, OSA Ragnar Plunus, offer to Theo Ragnar, not only promise to make him my disciple, but I also offer him the position of Junior Lord of the Plum Blossom Palace. The crowd erupted in murmurs. Did she say Junior Lord? One person exclaimed. Lady Plum Blossom doesn't have any children of her own. Another whispered. This is like promising to accept him as an adopted son. A third voice added, filled with astonishment. Theo watched her. He'd become the successor of the Sword Dragon. Someone in the crowd noted, looking at Theo. 2 of the 9 dragons have already stepped up, Remington remarked with excitement. You really are incredible, young Master Theo. Amazing, Hulkus exclaimed. Most commanders and directors won't be able to compete against such offers. Erica added. A lone figure stood amidst the clouds, a bird flying nearby. I'd like to throw my hat in the ring as well, a voice declared. A powerful force crashed down, shaking the very foundations of the hall. Crash! A figure descended, his form shrouded in dark energy. The figure landed, revealing a man with long white hair, his face partially covered by a dark mask. Black Dragon, head of the Black Snow Robert Ragnar. It's the Black Dragon, someone exclaimed, shock evident in their voice. To think even he would join in. Robert Ragnar looked directly at Theo. Theo Ragnar, I've been observing you throughout the awakening ceremony, he said. Theo met his gaze. He's been watching me? Come to Black Snow, Robert invited. I'll offer you the rank of Null Snow. Null Snow. The Black Snow is an intelligence agency, requiring their agents to act in secret. However, the rank of Null Snow, the highest rank within Black Snow, allows one to have a public persona and attain fame and honor. When I was in Black Snow, there were only 8 of them, Theo reminisced, remembering his time in the agency. Theo thought, I tried so hard to attain it in my past life, yet it was always far out of reach. To think I could obtain it so easily. Pharaoh Ragnar cleared his throat, drawing attention to himself. Theo Ragnar, you left quite a lasting impression during the 3rd stage, he said, a warm smile on his face. I hope you don't forget about my Zenith Academy. Zenith Dragon, master of the Zenith Academy, Pharaoh Ragnar. What? Even the Zenith Dragon? Aaron, the supervisor that saved Theo, exclaimed in disbelief. That's 4 out of the 9 dragons. Let's not forget, there's still one more, Evelyn chimed in. Our commander. Demon Dragon, commander of the White Armored Dragon Cavalry, Julius Ragnar. The White Armored Dragon Cavalry will not offer any special treatment to Theo Ragnar, Julius declared. He's choosing now to stick to his guns? Aaron exclaimed in surprise. As expected of our commander, Evelyn added with admiration in their voice. He believes that honor comes from proving oneself. Julius continued. My desire to recruit him is great, but I cannot give him any special treatment. It would not be fair to the other recruits. The only thing I can guarantee is full support for his development and the pride of being a dragoon. He concluded, his gaze fixed on Theo. Theo stood in the center of the hall. He took a deep breath, his eyes closing for a moment. Then he opened his eyes, a determined glint in them, and with a smirk, he declared, I will choose. Suddenly, a voice, sharp and laced with an unknown power, cut through the air. You're a regressor, aren't you? Theo's eyes widened in surprise. He whipped around, searching for the source of the voice. His gaze landed on a woman, sitting gracefully on a throne, her eyes fixed on him. The former clan head, Hilda? Theo swallowed hard, his throat suddenly dry. Gulp! I have no idea what you mean, he replied, his voice carefully neutral. Hilda's lips curled into a knowing smile. I don't know what kind of life you lived in your previous cycle, but your acting is impeccable, she said with amusement. Truly impressive. Cycle? What is she talking about? Is there by chance a set number to regression? Theo's mind raced, trying to comprehend the situation. Is something the matter? You don't look well, Vanna Ragnar said, concern evident in his voice. Could I please be given a moment to gather my thoughts? Theo asked, his voice slightly strained. As you wish, Vanna replied, nodding his head. This is indeed an important decision. However, don't take too long. Hilda leaned back in her throne, a smirk playing on her lips. There's no need to hide it. After all, I'm also a regressor, she revealed. Though the cycles permitted to me are now over. Theo stared at her, his mind reeling. She said it again, he thought. Her words imply that she's regressed multiple times. His eyes narrowed, his thoughts racing. But how can that be? Could there be more regressors? If so, how many? I'm dealing with a former clan head, he realized. It'll be faster to just ask her directly. By cycles, do you mean that one can regress multiple times? He asked. Wait, you don't know? Kyle must not have told you anything. She replied. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Kyle hates regressors, he thought. I thought it was odd that he let you live. What? He questioned, his voice laced with confusion. Is that the reason he gave me such a brutal challenge? Hilda chuckled softly, a knowing glint in her eyes. You look like you have a lot of questions. Sadly, we don't have time, she said. If you wish to learn of the secrets of this world and our clan, come find me. Let's finish this conversation then. Theo stared at her, his mind in turmoil. During the third stage of the awakening ceremony, Father gave me no answers. The only thing he presented me with was the heart sword. He looked down, remembering the events of the ceremony. So, Father hates regressors. Lodbrok's energy, which I sensed from him back then. A realization dawned on him. The stolen heart of Lodbrok. Was it really Father who took Lodbrok's heart? Is it because Lodbrok is an ancient dragon that welcomes regressors? A human defeating an ancient dragon sounds impossible. He looked up, his gaze fixed on Kyle Ragnar, who sat upon his throne, watching him. But it just might be possible for Father, who is called a demigod. He turned away, his decision made. I have no choice. In order to uncover the secrets of the clan related to regression, Vanna Ragnar's voice broke through his thoughts. Now then, Theo Ragnar, has your heart decided where you will go? Theo took a deep breath. Yes, I have decided. He raised his voice. I will